On an autumn day almost 1,000 years ago, one of the greatest battles in history begins. Invaders have struck England, their prized weapon, an armored knight, a powerful horse, an unstoppable charge. Yet the charge is stopped by a wall of English shields. Before the sun sets, these knights of France will win England, or an English grave. In the year 1066, a whirlwind strikes England, the Normans. Among them, a young knight named Robert de Beaumont, one of the few whose bravery will be celebrated by the chroniclers. Victory could bring him farms, wealth, even a nobleman's title in this foreign land. Robert is a long way from home. Normandy, a thriving dukedom between Paris and the French coast. A place of rich soil and productive mills. Wealthy manors and plentiful game. Such a fertile land was once a breeding ground for war. In Robert's boyhood, noble fought noble for the riches of Normandy. His own family emerged from those feuds well rewarded and well protected. Castles are built from the stone of the Norman countryside. Norman power is built upon the castle. Behind their walls, the de Beaumonts enjoy the fruits of success: revelry, feasting, music. The comforts of wealth are safeguarded by more than sturdy walls. They are protected by the most powerful man in the land, William, Duke of Normandy. But there is a price for such privilege. The de Beaumonts must supply their protector with warriors for up to 40 days each year. Not just their servants, but their sons. Since he was a boy, Robert trained for a new kind of warfare. Across the sea, the English still fight on foot as a mob, but the Normans have acquired the advantage of mobility and harnessed the power of the horse. When Robert is 20, his years of training are at last rewarded. Symbolically, his ears are boxed, the last blow he will ever take without striking back. Then he is handed his sword and his spurs and dubbed a knight. Born into such a rigid society, Robert cannot question his place. He can only try to survive it. He now owes allegiance to the man who has defeated every other baron in northern France and united Normandy under his rule, Duke William. Across the Channel, a new sovereign, Harold, has claimed the crown of England, but it lies uncertainly on his head. Other nobles dispute his title to the throne, including the Norman Duke who would be king. What William believes is his by right, he must now take by force. In the spring of 1066, William appeals for warriors in his quest for the English throne. His call is answered by 2,000 knights, including Robert de Beaumont. That summer, he joins a long line of soldiers, winding its way toward William's camp on the Norman coast. Freelances who roam from battle to battle, seeking their fortune. Light infantry, archers and slingers. Heavy infantry, expert with spear and battle axe. Green recruits and scarred veterans. 8,000 men who will follow William across the sea. Robert de Beaumont is not obliged to go. He has pledged his sword for service at home. But England offers much more than mere service. Across the Channel lie the spoils of war. If victorious, William has promised to lavish his knights with titles, land, and a share of the plunder. Robert may never see such a chance again. The saga of William's quest will one day be woven into the fabric of history. Around the pillars of the cathedral in the French town of Bayeux, a record will stretch 20 inches high and 80 yards long. The Bayeux Tapestry. 900 years later, it will tell the whole story of the invasion of England, beginning with the great fleet William assembles to cross the Channel. By August, William has built or borrowed more than 700 ships. Robert de Beaumont's father contributes 60. Yet an ill wind blows from England. Until it shifts, the fleet is grounded. Robert is about to embark on a hazardous expedition. The sea crossing alone will cover more than 70 miles. He has heard of the roughness of the Channel and of the men on the other side. Against them, an army larger than William's would stand only an even chance. And yet there is a chance. The English have no cavalry, no knights. Their island breeds only ponies, not the Norman strong war horses. Most of all, the English do not know where to expect the invasion or when. If he reaches England, William will need a quick victory, for his other obstacle will be feeding his army. The horses alone need 13 tons of grain and 13 tons of hay every day. In Normandy, horses and soldiers alike eat well. The Norman historian William of Poitiers will record that here, the Duke has already won the Battle of Organization.
William made generous provision for his knights. He did not allow any of them to take their sustenance by force. The crops waited undisturbed for the sickle, without either being trampled by the knights in their pride or ravaged out of greed by plunderers.
The only enemies Robert fights now are boredom and tension. After 6 weeks, William's luck changes, and so does the wind. By nightfall, Robert is underway. A beacon on William's flagship guides the fleet in the darkness. The army sails with their horses in open boats, like their ancestors, for these Normans were once Norsemen, Vikings. 2 centuries earlier, their long ships brought terror to England's shores. Now, under the cover of night, the terror returns. Fair winds follow the Normans across the channel. Soon after dawn, they land. Luck is waiting for them. The English are not. Their attention has been drawn elsewhere. William takes no chances. His first move is defensive. His men cut down trees to build a castle of timber, a Norman contribution to the art of war. Above the cliffs at Hastings, William looks to his safety and wonders about his foe. Harold's kingdom is twice plagued. Another invader has landed, the King of Norway. Harold marches north and crushes him, but he has lost the battle against time. He cannot be in 2 places at once. Harold rushes back south to face William. On October 14th, the 2 armies meet near the village of Hastings. For Robert de Beaumont, the time to prove his mettle has come. Like every Norman knight, he will ride into battle covered in a suit of chainmail weighing 30 pounds, heavy but flexible and nearly impenetrable. It's called a hauberk. Made of thousands of interlocking iron rings, it reaches down to Robert's knees and elbows. Slits in the front and back allow him to sit astride his horse. A hood of chainmail protects his head and throat. By the time he dons an iron helmet, he is girded in up to 60 pounds of armor.
Corpus Christi. Amen.
Robert's strongest protection is faith, his belief that a glorious afterlife awaits should his earthly armor fail him. Slightly outnumbered, William deploys his army atop a low ridge. At the rear wait his horsemen, 2,000 knights and freelances. 10 rows in front of Robert are the archers, to thin the English ranks. Between horsemen and archers, the heavy infantry. Like Robert, they wear hauberk and helmet. Some wield double-edged swords for thrusting or slashing. Others maces and spears. Not half a mile away, across a shallow valley, stand 8,000 English warriors. The best of them wielding battle axes that can cleave a man in two. Duke William strikes the first blow. Most of Harold's archers are still marching to join him. The reply is left to his elite guard, his housecarls, as William of Poitiers would record.
The English hurled back spears and javelins and weapons of all kinds, together with axes and stones fastened to pieces of wood. You would have thought to see our men overwhelmed by this death-dealing weight of projectiles.
When the two armies meet, the English live up to their reputation. Norman steel cannot break the wall of English shields.
The English fought confidently with all their strength, striving to prevent the attackers from penetrating within their ranks, which indeed were so closely massed together that even the dead had not the space to fall.
Now, William calls for his knights. Robert is riding into his first battle. Everything, training, armor, rider, depend on his horse, the Norman stallion. Bred for size and strength, and trained to lash out at the foe. When he charges, Robert will guide his war horse only with his legs. His right hand holds his lance, his left his shield. Like all Norman knights, Robert belongs to a lifelong unit of 25 men, a connois, who fight under their own flag. Should they become separated in battle, they can rally to their standard. On any other field, they would charge in waves, 5 men knee to knee, standing in their stirrups with lances leveled. Today, faced with an unyielding mass of shields, they use a different tactic. They attack one by one, hurling their lances and wheeling away. The knights open holes in the English line, and the Norman infantry rush forward to widen them. The English cut their own gaps with the battle axe. By early afternoon, neither army has the advantage, and both fall back to tend their wounds. Norman arrows now do their worst. Barbed at the tip, they can't be pulled out. Surgeons must push them straight through the wound. When the fighting resumes, William resorts to a favorite tactic. What Norman strength has not won, Norman trickery might. No sooner have the Normans attacked than they seem to retreat.
Several thousand gave rapid pursuit to those they thought to be in flight. But the Normans, suddenly wheeling their horses, surrounded them and cut down their pursuers.
The ruse works. Without their wall of shields, the English are defenseless against Norman steeds and Norman steel. A rumor flies through the English ranks. King Harold has been shot through the eye. His men fight on, but with their leader lost, so is the battle.
Many lay on the ground, bathed in blood. Others, who struggled to their feet, found themselves too weak to escape.
The field and the victory belong to William. But the courage of one young knight would not be overlooked.
A certain Norman recruit, Robert, son of Roger de Beaumont, experiencing battle for the first time that day, performed feats of valor worthy of perpetual remembrance. He attacked with utmost bravery and success.
Robert receives more than praise. He is rewarded with English land and an English title, Earl of Leicester. As for Duke William, 3 horses have been killed from under him this day. He has earned both his throne and the name history will award him, William the Conqueror. On Christmas Day, 1066, he is crowned King of England. What the Normans have done, no other army would ever do. Never again would England's shores be breached by men from across the sea.